Team, what if I told you there's a place that's just 15 minutes from this? And just 20-ish minutes from this. And here's the thing, while other Orlando suburbs are pricing out regular families, Kissimmee is delivering something different. Lakefront living, new construction, and small town charm at a fraction of our big city price tags. But my friends, the secret isn't staying secret much longer. Get this, with 15,000 residents moving to this county just last year, the question isn't whether Kissimmee will keep growing, it's whether you will get in before everyone else figures it out. Now, as someone who grew up in the county and knows the market inside and out, I'm going to share with you local secrets that tourists never see. And honestly, most real estate videos never mention. See, the truth is right now in the entire Orlando metro, few cities have more growth stories stacked up that when those projects unfold will absolutely be a future game changer for housing values in this area. And I'm going to show you in great detail that if you live here now, or if you're considering buying here, major changes are unfolding for this once sleepy cow town that will forever change the game for Kissimmee. Let's get into it. Yeah, we get it, Jared. Kissimmee's special, but let's talk about where exactly you'll find it on the map and what you're going to use for travel if you live here. Kissimmee covers about 22 square miles, and it sits right on the northwest shore of West Lake Tohoqua. Locals call it just Lake Toho. And trust me, friends, you're going to sound way more natural saying it that way. The city centers around the intersection of US 1792, also known as Orange Blossom Trail towards the north, and State Road 192, also known as Vine Street, and also called Earlo Bronson Memorial Highway in this particular area. 192 is an important road. If you stay on it going east, you're going to head straight to St. Cloud. Stay on it further, you're going to hit Melbourne Beach. But here's what makes the location so valuable. You're only about 15 minutes from Disney's east entrance. You're roughly 25 minutes from Orlando International Airport, and you're approximately 30 minutes from the downtown Orlando area. And that's the ticket. You get to live in a peaceful lakeside community, but you can still catch a flight or hit the theme parks without the stress of a long commute. And again, the highway access points here can be pretty incredible too. You've got area entrances to Florida's Turnpike north to south. You've got I-4 to go to downtown Orlando or head towards Tampa. You've got the Osceola Parkway in town for east to west travel, and you can shoot that all the way to Disney World. Now, whether you're commuting to downtown Orlando or heading to the beaches, or you're just running errands, you're never far from a major road. Now, Kissimmee is surrounded by some interesting neighbors as well. Now, St. Cloud sits to the southeast, and Celebration, yes, Disney's famed planned community, is just outside the city limits to the northwest edge. According to the 2020 census, over 79,000 people called this area home. I'd wager by now that it's getting pretty close to 90,000 residents. But let's figure out what's behind the story driving Kissimmee's growth in the real estate market, because these numbers will truly blow you away. Just like many other cities in Osceola County, this area was slow going and pretty stable for some 50 years. And then in 1970, a sneaky land developer named Walt came in and opened the largest theme park on the face of planet Earth. And the rest of the area was forever changed as a result. Now, back in 1970, when Disney opened, there were only about 7,000 people living here. By 1980, that number had more than doubled to 15,500. Now, by the 1990s, it doubles again to over 30,000 residents. The 2000s continued the trend, and by 2010, we had hit 60,000 in population. But the real explosion of this area has largely happened in the last 2 decades, and this growth isn't slowing down anytime soon. Osceola County stands as one of the fastest growing counties in the state, adding 15,000 people just from 2022 to 23 alone, reaching around 438,000 total residents. This explosive growth underpins all the new neighborhoods, all the new shopping centers and schools that we'll be talking about throughout this video. But some major housekeeping first. Let's make sure that if you're looking in this area, you sound like a local, and I'm also going to help you understand what you're really looking at when you consider visiting Kissimmee. Now first, pronunciation matters. Locals say Kissimmee, not Kissimmee, like many visitors assume. If you get that right, people will know you've done your homework. Now, the city's old cattle industry nickname was Cowtown, spelled with a K, and you'll still see cow images throughout downtown today. It's part of the charm and local identity that residents are proud of. The historic downtown core around US 1792 has a cozy, low-rise feel that's very different from the Orlando urban landscape. You'll notice painted cowboy boot murals lining some sidewalks, and every February here brings Rodeo Day as local schools take a break for famous Silver Spurs Festival, a 150-year tradition. Many new developments here are actually in unincorporated Osceola County outside the official city limits, so always check whether the home you're looking at is technically in Kissimmee proper or just adjacent. But let's explore what it actually feels like to live here from day to day. Well, Kissimmee has the vibe of a suburban lake town with plenty of outdoor adventure built right in. During the day, you'll see families boating and fishing on Lake Toho, hiking through Shingle Creek, which is the headwaters of the Everglades, or having picnics or just going for a stroll in Lakefront Park. The community itself scores very well as being incredibly diverse. Cultural festivals and authentic Latin cuisine are woven into daily life. You're not just getting suburban amenities, you're getting a rich cultural experience. Weekends and evenings here shift the focus to events and local attractions. Kissimmee's annual Silver Spurs Rodeo in February is absolutely legendary. It draws roughly 300,000 spectators each year. We have other gatherings here for Osceola County Fair, the Taste of Kissimmee Food Festival, Viva Osceola, which celebrates Hispanic heritage. You have festive parades throughout the year here. Now, downtown has a growing mix of cafes, craft breweries, and boutiques, though it's still modest compared to Orlando's urban core. And overall, Kissimmee feels genuinely family-friendly and upbeat with a tight-knit hometown vibe that somehow persists even amid all of its rapid growth. Now, all of this community charm sounds great, but let's get practical for a moment and talk about what it's actually like to handle your daily needs at Kissimmee, because this obviously matters when you're calling this place home. For groceries, you're well covered with the basics. Publix, of course, is the dominant supermarket chain with multiple locations throughout the area. Add to that, you've got Walmart Supercenters, Aldi, and various discount chains. The community's diversity also really shines in the grocery scene too. You're going to find Latin American markets and international food stores serving the population throughout. Now, Costco lovers typically head to Central Orlando or for Claremont for bulk shopping runs. And my friends, the restaurant scene is where Kissimmee really gets interesting. Cuban and Spanish food are huge here. You've got to try Casa Vieja for authentic Cuban cuisine or hit up Cow's Steakhouse for, well, some amazing steak and amazing flavors. Now, I've heard Venezuelan arepas at Pa Paraguana get rave reviews, and the local favorite diner, Susanna's Cafe, has a hometown feel that everyone loves. Now, for nightlife, Three Sisters Speakeasy offers a trendy cocktail lounge experience. Along US 192 and Osceola Parkway, you're going to find The Loop, shopping plazas with banks, a long list of quick-serve table service restaurants, and service businesses. Now, healthcare here is accessible through Advent Health's Kissimmee Hospital and HCA's Osceola campus. Now, additional to all that, there are major mixed-use plans, not just for the downtown area that will include all kinds of new walkability and interesting shopping vibes, but you have so much more going on around the area that I'm going to tell you about here in a moment. And now that we've covered the practical side of daily living here, let's get into what you really need to know. What is the cost of living in Kissimmee actually like? What is the real estate market looking like here in Kissimmee? Now, for starters, entry-level single-family homes in Kissimmee typically are going to range from 1,100 square feet up to 1,600 square feet. They're going to start in the mid $200,000 price point. And that's still affordable by today's standards, especially in Central Florida. Now, what we call the move up category is going to be 1,800 to 2,600 square feet. This is going to be 3 to 4 bedrooms and will typically run from $300,000 to $400,000. The citywide median sale price sits around $360,000, well beneath the Orlando Metro's $455,000 median price point. Now, luxury home options are a little bit more limited in Kissimmee, but if you're looking to spend anywhere from $550,000 to $800,000, you can find lakefront estates or 1 to 10 acre properties that have mini ranch feels about half a mile off the shores of Westlake. Now, for Kissimmee, townhomes and condos exist, but they're a very small number of the overall market, though builders are starting to add some newer communities with these kinds of home types. Now, for newer homes, you're looking at Kissimmee, you're going to find HOAs. They're going to have community dues to cover things like the pools and the parks and the common areas that they're putting in these properties, but there are still a good amount of non-HOA pockets in this area. Think 25% of current listings, non-HOA. That is a really good number for Central Florida. Another point on new construction, keep in mind that many communities use CDD fees to fund those new roads and infrastructure from all the hyper growth. This will typically add anywhere from $100 to $200 per month to your bill, and maybe for some this is okay for the new feel, high-level amenities of the area, some of which I'm going to show you today. Now, overall, Kissimmee is seen as significantly more affordable than many closer-in Orlando suburbs. Easily, you have 20% lower costs in most cases on average, and definitely a wider array of affordable new home inventory. And this value proposition, combined with those new home options, is a big part of Kissimmee's appeal to first-time home buyers and people relocating into the area. Hey, it's me interrupting myself. Need to buy or sell? Make one call, problem solved, and put 23 years of experience and nearly 4,000 satisfied home sales to work for you.
Jared Jones is the way to go. Call 706-5000.
Now, Kissimmee offers several distinct communities that cater to different buyer types. So let's break down your best options. All right, team, let me take you on a guided tour of how to decipher the different areas of Kissimmee. Now, Kissimmee, by the way, is the entire south portion of the Orlando metro. So I'm going to pull in so you can see the different zip codes and have a better look at this area. Again, the entire dividing line for all the Kissimmee zip codes kind of runs right here. You're directly below Hunters Creek. You are directly inside of the Lake Nona area. You're just west of St. Cloud here. Celebrations down here. Davenport is over off to the west as well for the Four Corners area. Disney World is right here off its northwest border as well. So let me break all of this down. Now, off to the side, you have a very edge of 34744, which is Lake Nona adjacent. You're coming off of a little stretch of just a few neighborhoods where these areas are doing well because the folks that live on this edge of Kissimmee really kind of borrow from the Lake Nona amenities. But this zip code is enormous. 744 goes all the way to the downtown area and lakefront, and it kind of stretches all the way back up to the north border. A lot of this area is older, okay? So aside from some newer pockets put in here, the historic downtown, you have 150-year-old homes, and obviously even things built later last century, like the 70s, 80s, things of that nature, which a lot of this extended downtown off of 182, you see a lot of pockets where this was built in those periods. And there's really popular neighborhoods throughout here, okay? BVL, Buenaventura Lakes, is its own zip code in 34743. A lot of this was developed in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, okay? So it shows its age, but the homes in the area, pretty nice, easy to get in and out of. You have Osceola Parkway feeding you right into it. The Turnpike and the 417 are both accessible from this zip code, and I think that is why you continuously see its popularity. It is also pretty affordable for the homes that you will find here. Now, there are some new growth that we're going to talk about here in a minute. Major lakefront type communities being built into this area. Just absolutely amazing. But let's talk about the rest of the area going west. So these zip codes are huge. So the south part of 746 and 758, these areas right here go well under 192. One of the biggest rubs that people have had is the further you go down Pleasant Hill Road or the further you go down Poinciana Parkway, these areas get further from easier access points and the traffic can be tough. So just keep that in mind. However, you're going to learn that that is about to change. And it might be a year, maybe 2 years, but some of the highway systems coming to this area will be a game changer, and I think will incredibly increase and enhance the movement to get in and out of this area, and will most likely have a good future result for the home values here. But if you are a commuter, you want to be very aware of what that does to your time frame on the road. Now, this zip code right here against Poinciana Parkway is actually Davenport, but if you come up here, you have the last zip code on the west side for Kissimmee, which is nearly all short-term rental market and Celebration. Celebration is inside of the Kissimmee zip code 34747. Celebration is its own feature, its own feel. And then again, you have this area just to the west, which by and large, if you're not looking for a short-term rental home, is probably very, very light on inventory and might not be completely measuring up to your lifestyle goals if you want to feel like you're in a local town system here in the Central Florida market. Now, the last part I want to come back to, I told you about this enormous zip code 34744. In this area, I want to highlight two major communities that are popping up right here that are truly exciting and a lot of really interesting development coming here. Let's talk about that right now. As you know, I serve the entire Orlando metro area, and I don't necessarily drive into every single neighborhood weekend after weekend. I did get a chance to see these two neighborhoods that I want to highlight for you. Impressive. Very impressive. I was blown away by the development being done here and how convenient it is to the turnpike. But what I'm talking about is Tohoqua, a massive 730-acre master plan community near West Lake Toho. Now in it, builders like Lennar and Pulte are finishing thousands of homes here. The community includes miles of walking, bike trails, parks, and a village center with shops, services, plus you have schools right here in the nearby vicinity that were just built. Home styles here range from 1,500 plus square foot starter homes up to luxury lakeside models with prices spanning roughly the mid 300s to over $500,000 depending on size of home and location. Now families love lake access, the new schools, and true suburban neighborhood feel. And by the way, I know I let the cat out of the bag on who's building this, but if you appreciate the details I'm bringing to you, allow me to help represent you to make sure that the process of buying your new home goes very smoothly and that the builder leaves no stone unturned in finishing your home correctly. Now, directly next door to the west to Tohoqua, you have Kindred, a development featuring over 3,500 homes and easy access to major roads. The 192, the turnpike access is right there, just like it is for Tohoqua. You're right on the doorstep for Neo City, Lake Nona, Medical City, Orlando International Airport. All of that is reasonable drive distance thanks to great proximity to the highway here. Now, this community offers resort-style amenities including multiple pools, playgrounds, a dog park, walking trails. It is laid out like a vacation community. And again, I visited these areas kind of at golden hour, 5 o'clock. I was super impressed at the beauty of the Osceola County landscape, kind of left in check. People were out, kids were out playing. It was super awesome to see. Now, homes on the Kindred side will range from 3 to 5 bedrooms, think 1,500 to over 2,500 square feet, with base prices starting around the $390 mark going into the 500s. Now, much like many parts of Kissimmee, Kindred's going to appeal to families wanting new built homes with built-in recreational amenities built into the process of the neighborhood. But for those wanting more space, more privacy, Kissimmee offers plenty of that. Think Hidden Harbor or Eagle Trace off of North Pleasant Hill. You're going to have gated communities on the shores of Lake Toho. Now, in neighborhoods like these, you're going to have lots that are going to average half an acre to an acre and a quarter, with homes ranging 2,200 square feet to up over 6,000 square feet. And many properties will offer lake views or private docks with architectural style, including Mediterranean, ranch, contemporary, and even custom designs. And prices here will typically run from the high 500s into the low seven-figure range for grand lakefront estates. And these neighborhoods offer old Florida space and privacy at a fraction of what something similar would cost, particularly across the center of Orlando. And it's not just Kissimmee that's making the growth happen, particularly in Osceola County. There are some nearby areas going into St. Cloud that have major growth plan that will impact you living, particularly in Kindred and Tohoqua. Keep an eye on the significant growth just on the southeast edge of Kissimmee. You have Cross Prairie, a master plan community is booming. And get this, a key feature in the future will be a connector road that they're working on right now that's going to bridge the gap from Cross Prairie from the southeast to Tohoqua to Kindred, will make connecting these neighborhoods much, much easier. And again, every one of them, they have shopping and retail and all kinds of things being planned. More than likely, if you're in each of these neighborhoods, you're going to probably leverage the other neighborhoods' access points and their features. But the reality, team, the south edge between Kissimmee and St. Cloud, the lines are being blurred. There are major community extensions going on here with thousands of more high quality new construction homes being planned in a path along this area. It is going to be crazy. I teased earlier that some of the top growth stories happening in the entire Orlando metro area are happening right here. Just my opinion. I don't think I'm overstating it. Let's just get into a chip shot of the stories that are going to have major impacts on whether you live here now or what will happen to the value of your home in this area in the near future. One of the things that is happening that I've always been saying on my updates is Osceola County is getting very challenging. And the real estate across the bottom edge of the South always is the most affordable. And I would say that a lot of that is due to how difficult it is to get from where you live, especially if you're down here in the far South, into the city area, unless you own a helicopter, and most don't. Here's the deal. What's happening next is there's going to be a connector road from I-4 at the 429. So you're going to see right here, the 429 is an amazing, easy to drive road, drops all the way down here to I-4. There's going to be a connector passing I-4, bringing it all the way down, and they have a plan for a road for 538 to basically come all the way down in towards Poinciana to the bottom of Lake Toho right here down. So you're down south of Pleasant Hill Road. You're right cruising through Poinciana all the way to the opposite side. You're going to have the Beltway. You'll literally be able to drive towards the south. And then look at this. They're going to connect the 515 to it. Now, I don't think this 515 connector is in the immediate plans. That's down the road. Now, what will happen though is you'll be able to shoot from Davenport, like Winter Garden, Davenport, you come out of Disney, take a beltway around the bottom end of town, and most likely there's going to be connectors down here. You can get south on South St. Cloud, the rural part and the manor, things of that nature, which by the way is not rural much anymore. You have massive master plan communities going in on this side of the turnpike, but you'll be able to take a spin all the way back up here towards the Lake Nona area. The next top story, team, Kissimmee extends its hot streak as developers compete for the long dormant Kmart site. And the area we're talking about is West Vine Street, 192 at North Thacker. This is the Kmart and Big Lots site. If I'm not mistaken, Kissimmee, the city, actually bought this not too long ago. There are 3 developers competing now to transform this 25-acre blighted retail property into a walkable mixed-use district. Proposals include hundreds of residential units, retail, restaurants, public amenities like complete streets and waterfront promenade. Now, the winning plan is expected to catalyze more revitalization along the 192 corridor and solidify downtown Kissimmee's transformation into a vibrant urban neighborhood. Next, we're going towards Lakefront Park. Now, developers are going to redefine downtown Kissimmee's hotel plans. Now, the location we're talking about is Toho Square and Kissimmee Civic Center area. Now, multiple developers have submitted revised proposals to bring new full-service hotels rooftop venues, convention centers, retail, and residential components to downtown Kissimmee. Projects include a Sonesta boutique hotel with rooftop bar, a Hyatt Place with a meeting space and offices, and a proposed 200 to 250 room luxury hotel with nearly 35,000 square feet of convention center space at Civic Center. Now, this area has been under plan review for a minute. The city's scrapped multiple times. The developers have brought things to them saying it's too ostentatious or you didn't aim high enough. So this has been a back and forth, and hopefully this site will one day come off the ground. Another downtown Kissimmee announcement, we have an apartment tower with grocery store on the way. Now the location, 400 West South Emmett Street, downtown Kissimmee, next to Toho Square. You have Skyview Companies is developing a mixed-use apartment tower with approximately 250 residential units and a 18,000 square foot ground-level grocery store modeled after community-based co-ops like Everman and Greenwise. Now, the project's going to be called Kissimmee Downtown Gaither and Grow, which will include a microbrewery, food court, shared parking garage, and possibly fee simple townhomes, bringing long-requested amenities and walkable retail to the central business district. Wild team. Now, the next top story, a developer now wants to build 600 apartments on a Kissimmee wetland. Now, location we're talking about is Four Winds Boulevard near 192 behind Medieval Times in Kissimmee. Now, the developer, Juan Nagaro, has filed plans to build a 624-unit apartment complex on 36 acres of wetland parcel near Kissimmee's tourism corridor adjacent to former Jungleland Zoo. Now, the two-phase plan will include 13 mid-rise buildings, extensive amenities, and surface parking, but faces scrutiny over environmental concerns as the land has previously been designated as a high-quality wetland. Now, transportation access and wetland reclassification remain key hurdles for the project. Don't see that one getting off the ground, my friend. Another crazy new and exciting story of growth here in the area. One of the last untouched large pieces of property is finally getting a plan underway. Team, let me introduce to you Hilliard Isle. It is a massive 900-acre master plan community by Puerto Rico's top mall developer, Empresas Fanaledas, their first time ever project in Florida. Now, my friends, this is located along Simpson Road between Buenaventura Lakes and East Lake Toho. Hilliard Isle is being called Kissimmee's, quote, last hurrah by the city's planners. Now, the project will feature around 3,000 homes, including single-family, townhouses, and apartments. You're going to also have 125,000 square feet of commercial space with a vibrant, the walkable town center design. Now, home builders that are partnering here are Pulte Homes. Their construction for phase 1 is looking like early 2026. And that phase will include over 240 homes ranging from townhomes and bungalows to larger detached homes. Think 40, 50, and 60-foot lots. Now, the project follows Kissimmee's neo-traditional design guidelines to help avoid the usual cookie-cutter style that new homes can have. Now, get this, team, at the heart of it all, a 67-acre town center directly on East Lake Toho with space for over 600 multifamily units and 200,000 square feet of retail. Think restaurants, shops, public spaces, all with lakefront views and marina access. Truly exciting things on the horizon for Kissimmee. All right, now that we've covered the practical side and all the growth stories of life here in Kissimmee, let's talk about the fun part. What do you actually do in Kissimmee if you want to have a good time? Well, for nature lovers, Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures offers sunset swamp rides, spotting alligators, and wildlife. You have Lake Toho, year-round fishing, boating opportunities, and the family entertainment offers are quite impressive. You have Old Town Kissimmee and Fun Spot America, bunch of putter golf, all kinds of things right on your doorstep. Again, I know it's kind of like carnival. And honestly, Old Town's amazing. You got these weekend car shows. I think they still do it to this day. Am I right? Let me know in the comments. You have Gatorland. I know it's a once in a while thing, right? For us locals, once every couple years. You have a 110-acre wildlife park here with alligator shows and zip lining and breeding ponds. They're all in cages, folks. You could go see them just in case one shows up at your back door. And of course, Disney World, Universal Studios, and Epic Universe all just down the street. As I mentioned, the food scene here keeps improving. You have weekend events like Taste of Kissimmee, an ethnic festival showcasing incredible local cuisine. You have an array of golf courses, year-round concerts to enhance the quality of life. So my friends, as you can see, Kissimmee has come a long way from this quiet cattle town to a vibrant city set on the lakes. And my friends, this is just the beginning. Big things are on the way, from all the new roads, the projects, all the neighborhoods opening, the options at affordable prices. And if you've been thinking about buying in Central Florida, now may be the perfect time before everybody else catches on. My team and I are constantly fielding inquiries from folks like you who watch these videos, and I gotta admit, particularly for Kissimmee, if you're considering this area, there are lots of zip codes to choose from. Making the right one fit, making the perfect match, making sure you do not make a mistake where you're looking to move away in a year from now. And if you're planning a move in 7 days or 7 months, I'd love to be a resource to you. Make sure you reach out, drop a text to 407-706-5000 or call or write us at info@jaredjones.com, and we'll see you on the next one.
Jared Jones is the way to go. Call 70650.